Welcome back. Actually, I'm really stoked about this next series of conversations because we're flipping into something brand new, and what we're going to be focusing on is consultation. Probably one of the most important aspects of guest handling. And not only is it about consultations, but in the name of honoring the purpose of Summit Salon Learning and the series of over-the-top consultations that explode your pay. I want to continue the quest to increase your pay another $10,000 over the next 365 days. So because this is a series, it's going to be a handful of lessons that are going to follow up to this one. This first one, I want to set the stage. I'm going to call it Introduction to the Consultation. And one of the first things I want to get handled is how you can get the most out of the next handful of conversations, the series, if you will. If you haven't already done so, I want you to zero in on Over the Top. That is the official text. And I want you to find Lesson 6. Whether you've read it before or not, do a quick drive-by through it because I'm going to be using a lot of terms and words and illustrations, and I think you'll have a home court advantage if you do that. The other part of how you could get the most out of the next few lessons is to review the aspect of the library called the guest planning, because we're going to be standing on the shoulders of a lot of those words as well. Now, having said that, first thing I want to get out of the way is the big why behind consultation. I want to spend just a couple of minutes on the connection between you being awesome at doing high-powered consultation and the connection of that to your take-home pay. So if we're going to take you up another $10,000 a year in pay, it's important to me as your coach that you see the connection between becoming kung fu consultation person and making more money. Now, back a few lessons ago, we showed you the connection between increasing your service ticket and your pay. So that same connection holds true behind consultation, getting better at it, and you increasing your ticket. Now, there's a couple of other points I want to make as well. Is as we engage in these conversations, you're going to see the vital connection between the ability to you doing much better consultation and you getting over some of the challenges that come with compelling your guest to take home products that you're using, as well as compelling your guest to set up the next appointment to come back to see you before they leave, especially if it's a first-time new guest. Michael, is what you're saying there that there's a connection between how well I'm doing consultation and all of this? And I'm saying, oh yes. If it sounds like I'm killing a fly with a shotgun right now and showing you the connection, I am. In the coaching sessions I'm doing, I'm seeing that service providers, as a general rule, however important they think consultation is, it is way more important than they think. So as you're watching this right now, I want you to be thinking about how much importance do I place on my consultation? Multiply it times about 100, because you're going to see that consultation is vital. Now, having said that, I want to take you to the next idea. As we engage in the series of conversations on the consultation, I want you to be thinking about what I'm going to call a range. You could say, the difference between an awesome consultation and a let's call it an underwhelming consultation. In Over the Top, the book, we use red ink to illustrate, bottom 80 a consultation. And so I want to talk about that just for a second. What is a bottom 80 consultation? Those are about, for all intents and purposes, how not to do consultation. Because basically, in a bottom 80 consultation, you're finding out what your guests are coming in for, and basically any kind of inquiring is about what you need to give them as it relates of, they came in for a haircut, let's find out what kind of haircut they want and give them the haircut. Sometimes I'll call it a drive-by consultation. Your ordinary, unordinary consultation. This is especially true when your guests have long since become more of a friend, and now the experience went from formal to more of a casual. All of a sudden, those consultations are drive-by, or it's really, I'll meet you at the bowls. For all intents and purposes, there is no consultation. Show me a service provider who's struggling with the money stuff, the rebook stuff, the referral stuff, the retail stuff, increasing their service ticket, and I'll show you a service provider that's probably doing bottom 80, mediocre, average, traditional consultations. We're going to be talking about moving you from that place into what we're calling top 20 signature consultations. I'm really using that term these days, top 20, but signature consultation. Michael, what's that mean? It's the type of consultation that you would put your signature on. And I think that the single biggest difference between a bottom 80 consultation and a signature consultation is you're helping your guests to find a look. And the operative word here is look, that your guest can get excited about, and then, and only then, do you begin to offering the types of services that you're going to need eventually to create that look. As we get into signature consultation, you're going to see that primarily the consultation is all about creating readiness so that when you present the opportunity to experience another service that goes beyond the service that your guest came in to get, signature consultations set the stage for that. Now, the other thing that a signature consultation does, especially when the guest is first time, is it instantaneously builds credibility between you and your guest. It dramatically increases it. It's potent how that works, because as you get better at signature consultations, your guest finds out in the hurry that they are in the hands of a true professional. And the experience that your guest gets from that goes into what we call in the book, we call it an extraordinary guest experience. When your guest leaves, it's like, I've been coming to salons for years. I've been in a whole bunch of consultation. I've been served by a lot of service providers, but I've never had the experience that I've gotten today. That's what signature consultations bring to you. And as we get into the specifics of that, you will see. The other thing that a signature consultation does is, in addition to setting the stage for a retail or a service offering, it also sets the stage for talking about retail. As you get into the service process, you're going to on-ramp into retail. And when you get there, that conversation goes so much better because you've set the stage for that conversation to happen in the consultation. Same thing goes with rebooks. Somewhere in that visit, you're going to begin talking about the importance of your guest setting up an appointment to come back to see you, especially if the guest is first time. That all happens, the setup, the readiness happens in the consultation. Does it look like to you that I'm really passionate about consultation? You bet I am, because it's hugely, hugely important. Now, the other part I want to make is, as you get into the over-the-top text, you're going to find, and those of you that have been hanging out with me for a while know that the power wheel has always been, is now, and will continue to be, right? The official summit guest handling system. We're going to continue to use that. But if you can look at the wheel, the consultation happens in the second part of the wheel, the consulting part. And if you look at the wheel, you got the bonding part, the first part, you got consulting second, you've got servicing third, you've got finishing fourth, evolving fifth, and it looks like the consulting part, the consultation part, is 1/5 of the wheel. Don't be hoodwinked by that. The consulting part, the consultation part, I think is 80% or more that the experience that your guest gets. In other words, we may begin the consultation on the front end of that visit, but then everything we learn in that 5 or 10 minutes on the front end of the appointment, we bring it in with us on servicing. We're literally standing on the shoulders of consultation. So in essence, we're bringing the consultation experience with us as we talk about servicing. Same holds true for finishing. In finishing, there are some things that are happening, that have happened in consultation. We're revisiting a lot of that information in those insights as we commence to teach our guests what they need to do and use to recreate the look at home. As well as evolving, there is some information that we pick up in consulting that in following up with our guest, we're going to be going back and using that information as well. So as you can see, I'm really making a big deal of consultation. We will be following up on this conversation with a handful, because consultation is a profoundly wide and deep body of knowledge. So take action plan. The action plan, I want you to, between now and the next time we hang out with each other on the .com, I want you to read lesson 6, circle some of the terminology. We're going to be using some illustrations there. And the biggie is there's some information in lesson 6 with regard to preparing your station. You're going to find that everything counts on the consultation. So how you set up your station can make a big difference as you're taking your guest into the consultative experience. So there you have it. We got a lot out of the way here. You go ahead and do that. The over-the-top book, maybe even take a quick glance at the planning videos that we did in the last series, and I'll see you in the next conversation.